Don't let your Sunday afternoon get ruined just because you're missing one stupid roll pin. I received stickers this week from John's workshop. John, he's in the UK and he's a machinist. A real one. When I mean a real one, I mean a real one. So in his videos, when John explains something, when he gives useful tips, I'm listening to him. John, I will put your sticker somewhere here on my cheap door. That's done, so that's a good thing. Now go and have a look at John's channel. John, he's got this really nice, well-equipped workshop, and for the moment he's working on a shaper to get it back in shape. That's a good one. To make it work again, so good. And when you see what he makes, for example, the base plates for the baby vises, this was a very nice collaboration project. The finish on this base was outstanding. He's making a flame liquor engine. No, he made one. He's making another engine now. When you see the finish on these parts and when you take measurements, there's always spot on. Check him out. The last couple of days I spent a bit working on the decal. I changed the oil. I lined out the table and the quill, so this is all ready to go now, and lining these things out is really easy on these machines. That's no work at all. A little tap, tie it up again, take the measurement, it works. Now there's of course still a few little things I have to do, but I don't know if it's really worth filming. So now let's have a look at the vise. Well, in fact the vise is right here, in pieces. What I would like to do is redo a little bit this surface. This part is not really needed because this part comes on top of it, and this is the where the moving jaw comes, like this one, yeah, okay. And as you can see, it lives a hard life, so I would like to clean it up. Install the vise with 2 bolts, no problem at all. And all I have to do is clean up this little part of the surface and this one. And now comes the real problem. This part, it's a little bit tapered, slides in here. The ideal should be, of course, to have all these surfaces at the same height. But I have no idea how I'm gonna clamp this one here in place. The base, no problem, but this one, I don't know. I think I found a solution. I installed the body of the vise on 2 parallels here, and my idea is to drill in the bottom of this vise, drill and tap, and then I can use this hole here to bolt this part down. So now I located the spot with my 8mm drill. Right, first the center drill. Oh, shit. How many times it happens to me to forget to plug in these machines. And talking about plugs, in last week's video there was a comment from Stefan, and he says, "Ooh, that's an ugly plug." Yeah, I think you're right, it's ugly. As you see, I have 3 of them because I have 3 machines over here and I have only 1 outlet. I do this on purpose, so I'm sure it's impossible for me to use 2 or 3 machines at the same time. A little bit of safety sometimes. Now he was talking about safety. These pins, maybe you can touch them if they're not completely engaged. Well, Stefan, it's not possible because this rim here, for the moment I'm not touching the contacts, and over here it's completely closed. There we go. Normally in workshops and other places we use this one. This is the European standard 3-phase plug. I'm not really a big fan of it because they are very hard to plug in and you need both hands. So this one here, oh, it's not the right way. You have to push really hard, but don't have enough force to do this. And then this little hook here on the lid will hold on here so it can't fall out. I prefer the other plug because I can do them with one hand and it's perfectly legal. It's an old model, but it's perfectly legal. Right, now I'm sure the machine is plugged in. Let's do this. And a little bit of tapping. This is M8. Fantastico. They're not stuck. This one is broke. Oh shit. This one is too big. Yeah, right. I really need to invent some of reverse system for this machine. With a relay it won't be too hard to do. This is not really convenient. Here we go. Last week someone commented and he said, I don't remember your name anymore, so sorry. Is it not possible, if the tap is in the workpiece, to spin it backwards out using the spanner and then turn it out this way? I think this idea is so simple that it's brilliant. So thank you very much for the input, I really appreciate it. There's just one little problem. Let me show you. When I tap, the quill is going down and we stop, for example, somewhere here. The square part up here is disappeared. If I put my part here in place and the bolt, that seems to work. Now the only bolt I have is this one, but it's too long and there's not enough threads on it. So let's cut some threads a little bit further. I installed the bolt in the forjow for one specific reason, because that's the one that was mounted here. Very cheapsy over here. There you go. All right. something like this. A bolt. All over YouTube we see a lot of milling machine videos, so nothing really new over here. What we see way less is the setup videos, so let's do a little bit of setup. So over this length I have 1/10 of a millimeter. Out of alignment. Ooh, that's too much. Let's say that 10. Nip it a bit more. Maybe set 0 again, it's easier. That looks good. Real good. 1/100th of a millimeter over this length. That's almost nothing. I'm really happy with it. Now let's hope it doesn't move while tighten up. This surface is not really straight, but that's a bit normal over here. Inside is way much wear than here, but I have over this whole length, I think not even 2/100ths of a millimeter. For the inches is less than 1/1000, so that's not bad. Let's install the freshly made bolt. Right, let's find the clamping system to hold this part a bit down. Let's see what we've got here. Maybe something like this. Ah, come on, thing. It's maybe not a good idea because it's gonna touch over here. That's okay. I will install it and cut off what I don't need. It will work. Right. I have here an 11mm 4-flute end mill, and maybe it will be long enough to reach upon here. That could work. Ready to go. Depth of cut 5/100th of a millimeter. I think that could work. Let's cut the rest. It's always a bit complicated to show on camera what finish it makes, but I'm not really happy with it. So I suppose I have to get more used to the machine. It's hard to see, but here I started cutting dry, this part, and from here on I used cutting oil. And the finish is way better because the cutting oil, of course, is also washing away the chips, and I played a bit with the coolant system. Now I used this milling thing, and you can tell that it needs some attention. It had better days. Let's assemble the whole Zwick and see what we've got here. This is the result. The whole thing is assembled, and I think it's time to take care of the jowls. Of course, not these. These are finished. Let's make new. I installed the little blue vise. Part is in place. The biggest cutter I have is 16mm. That's all I have for the moment. Let's make some ships. What I haven't tried yet on this machine is side milling. So I think this is a nice occasion to give it a go. The finish looks better when I do conventional milling than climb milling. Let's continue and I will give you the results. Let's install the coordinates in the analog readout. I have here a 1/10 of a millimeter feeler gauge. In here is my center drill. So we move the thing. That feels good. Set here 0. According to my plan, I have to move 14. So let's set 0 again. Watch my scale here. 14. All right. 25. That's where we are at the moment. I did this surface on both parts, the side here, here it's on this side, and of course drilling the holes. But this surface is more or less square. No, it's this one. This one is more or less square, and this one isn't square at all. In this direction, no problem, both are the same, but in this direction, one of them not good. Because I want to finish this project, I think I'm gonna continue in the shaper, because I work way faster in the shaper than on the milling machine. Hey, wake up, shaper, there's work to do. First I will work the top surface, which is of course on the vise, the side. This one is square, so I can put it right here to work this one. This one is square too with this one, so if I push them together, let's do this. And the final pass with the shear tool. Now the shear tool touched a little bit the bolt here, but I don't think it was too much damage. And indeed, it didn't impact the surface finish, so that's a good thing. Who needs a surface grinder when you have a shaper? Well, of course, for not hardened materials, the shaper is really nice. Let's do a little bit assembly and see if the thing could work. Let's throw the thing here on the swivel base, so I have easy to swivel. When I run the indicator over the top surface here, there's a difference of 0.05 of a millimeter. For the moment I'm gonna leave it as is, because while using it, probably I'm gonna tap lots of times, and this jaw will go down a little bit, and when it's completely down it won't move anymore. And then I can take a little skin pass of it to have it at 0. When you look at it, indeed it looks a bit overkill, but these jaws are soft, which means they're gonna be damaged very quickly. So now I have lots of material left to redo the surfaces and reuse the same. And here is a nice little stick out. So one day I can make a stop, a vise stop that clamps on here on the other side. That's the reason why. I think this is the ideal kind of little jobs to get used to the machine. Make 2 times the same part, but not at the same time. So you make one and then you make the other one, and then you can compare, see if you did a good job or not. And I suppose you've all noticed this strange looking thing here. Now this is a oiling system. I don't have the right nipples to fill this oil thing here. So in the meanwhile I do it this way. Temporary fix.